Run when the rhythm's right. Go into the night. Go until you're out of sight and you're out of my mind. Run when the rhythm's right. Go into the night. Floating as the river flows, easy as it goes to the ocean. So walk on by, I've got no reason to love you, but I do, I do, I do. So walk on by, I've got no reason to love you, but I do, I do, I do. Show me colors of the sky, but all I see is gray. You lost me when you lied. Promise me, but you never try. Secrets in your eye, you go and run, I'll hide. Show me colors of the sky, but all I see is gray. You lost me when you lied. I don't ever wanna be crowned, just another prize. It breaks my heart, heart, breaks my heart, 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 breaks my heart, 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 breaks my heart, 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 breaks my heart. Lost in the midnight blue shadows of the moon. Here with open arms for you, feeling something so new. Said with me you'd reach the sun. Oh, but we were so young. Till the summer's done, but keep me in your heart, so I hold on. So walk on by, I've got no reason to love you, but I do, I do, I do. So walk on by, I've got no reason to love you, but I do, I do, I do. Show me colors of the sky, but all I see is gray. You lost me when you lied. Promise me, but you never try. Secrets in your eye, you go and run, I'll hide. Show me colors of the sky, but all I see is gray. You lost me when you lied. I don't ever wanna be crowned, just another prize. It breaks my heart. Colors of the sky, breaks my heart. All I see is colors of the sky, but all I see is colors of the sky. Colors of the sky, but all I see is colors of the sky. But all I see is colors of the sky. Colors of the sky, but all I see is colors of the sky. All I see is colors of the sky. to the ground now, and somehow I feel like you don't know me. Shook me to the ground now, I don't even know how. Brought me to a life that you never showed me. Coming from a locked up ghost, I'll be yourself, but you're coming from the light. There's more to you than you ever thought there was. Yeah, you're coming from the light.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, welcome. My name is Resorty, and to you, one and all, I 4, 3, 2, say hello, friends. Sorry. No, bad. Oh, this is what happens when you restart the computer. It leads to like music in the background and alarm sounds and all the rest. Oh, absolutely terrible. I apologize. Eventually we'll have remedied all the decisions we made for restarting the computer. It'll be fine. I promise, I swear. Nonetheless, hello. Bomb has been defused. We are good. Hello to you, Jim. Hello, Elsadil. How's it going, my friend? Pepper, welcome on in. Hello to Dave Marks. Hello, Amrith. Hello, Forcom. Hello, HPG. Good seeing you. Slivers, thank you for the bits with the comment. Last day of class hype. Slivers, good job finishing your last day of class. You're almost ready to graduate. Almost done. Good job. No, you mean my last day of class. Thank you for that also. Indeed. Yesterday was my last day of class for the semester, so more on that in a moment, but glad to say I've got a lot of grading to do now, but no more standing in front of people and trying to keep them entertained for oh gosh, my entire life. Oh boy, okay. Hello, Game Urchin. How you doing today? Welcome in today, SCP, and everybody else. Thank you for being with us. Hope you're having a lovely time all the way. Today, another new game for us. Another day of trying one we've not even seen before called Cataclismo. I've been mentioning this game on and off for the past week or so. It's Hooded Horse just putting out one game after another into early access. Last week, Norland. This week, Cataclismo. I was really excited for Norland, and I think my desires were largely met for what the game would be. And now Cataclismo, I'm a little less sure about. Not sure it's my kind of game. Not sure what exactly it is, if I'm being honest. So we'll see together today and hope it's a good time. Hello, Fears. Hello, Tank Possum. Hello, all you lurkers and everybody else out there in viewerland. I do appreciate you taking a bit of your time to come hang out with me today. It's a nice thing for you to have done. You were nice today. Thank you. All right, the first thing is yesterday I had a recognition that has changed my entire life. This recognition has made me feel no longer like a mere log floating down the river of life, but instead I now feel like an active agent. I am the river. More on that in a second. Slivers, thank you for the further bits. This audience doesn't pay me to be entertained. Never mind. It's true, Slivers. It's either student tuition or your bits. Either way, I gotta be on, gotta be entertaining, or I'll end up unemployed. Slivers, thank you much for your generosity. Always. And good joke, seriously. Hello, Tiger Burning. Good seeing you. So yes, the big change yesterday. The big change yesterday is this. Just before leaving for class, before leaving to walk to campus, I had finished making an essay prompt. You know, please write a 5-page blah blah blah, class topics, blah blah blah, etc. And I uploaded it, and I gave the assignment, and then while walking to campus, I had this realization. I don't want to grade the thing I have asked for. And furthermore, I know full well that my students don't want to write the essay I just put up. And so when I got to school, I deleted the assignments and wrote one I actually do want to grade. And I realized I can do that. I don't have to suffer through essays simply because the standard thing is to give an essay. And that felt pretty good. So I ended up changing the last assignment from like think about the course topic issues, use 3 examples, but this sort of thing, over to instead, we've had this course with all these ideas and all these books and movies, etc. What is one piece of media that you think we should have covered in this class? It can be an anime, a manga, a video game, a movie, a book, a TV show, whatever. Please go ahead and explain that in terms of the class. Explain that as why it would be useful for thinking about the ideas that we care about and then apply it to some issue. And I talked to the students about it and they seemed really excited. So that's pretty cool, I think. And I'm excited to see what they come up with. Now, by the time I have this giant pile of student papers to grade, I'm probably not going to care what the assignment is. I'm not going to grade them at all. But I look forward to seeing what they come up with. I'm always delighted when my students have an opportunity for creativity and when they say, oh, that sounds fun. So hopefully. To continue with a lot of my students present their work however it's best for them to turn it in. I said that on this one, they're welcome to turn it in any way they want to. Make a video, make a PowerPoint, write an essay, whatever. I said they probably cannot effectively explain their work in a picture, but if they pull it off, they're welcome to do so. This assignment, though, seems to need a little bit more explicit contextualization explanation than some of the other assignments. So, yeah, we'll see what we get. It should be fun. It should be good. CS Prof, it's good seeing you. Hello today, everybody. Klaus, exactly. You. Good seeing you, Klaus. It's Sally, it's true. Lurkers, well, I can't say lurkers are the best viewers, but lurkers are among the viewers. It's good seeing you, Sally. What if I get 30 essays about adult entertainment on the internet? I mean, if they can make a compelling case, right? If they can make a compelling case that we should have spent time with that in class, I look forward to seeing it. Now, because these are scored, right? These are marked for students' credit, I don't think they'll do that kind of silliness. Maybe one of my edgy students will say, the piece of media I wish to include is nothing, because we should have read nothing this semester. But I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine. They have until Saturday to turn it in, so it's not a hard piece, but it requires them to take some time and think about the class issues and connect it to something that they care about, I hope. So, and I actually came up with this idea in part because on the second or third week of the semester, I had a student make a joke that I thought she was being serious about. We're talking about the way in which societal pressure works both to hold people back as well as to help them become the things they should be, and a nice little dialectic of societal pressure. And one student's like, oh, it's like in that movie Ratatouille. And we laughed. And I said, oh, tell me more. How does Ratatouille show this idea? And she said, no, just a joke. And I was kind of bummed then. But I got thinking, is there something to it? Can we take these movies the students know about and find a way to find the issues and topics within them? So we'll see what they come up with. I'm pretty excited, though, for another opportunity to see student creativity. And I promise I'll share with you whatever great ideas they come up with. All right, a couple other things from yesterday's last day of class. One thing is, of course, Brother Man rides again. This is us saying goodbye to a student who, I don't know, is one of the more unique students I've ever had, because he just doesn't care in some sense, but his not caring comes from a place of deep insecurity, I suspect. But he's the class joker, but his jokes are kind of mean-spirited and kind of dismissive at times. So part of yesterday's class is talking about, what policies we should maintain or think about changing for future semesters. Because once the students have been bound by the rules, I always want to know what they think of these rules. And do they think that these rules have been unfair or could have applied more justly or whatever else exactly? And so yesterday we were talking about quizzes, right? I do these reading quizzes. Surprise! Answer these 3 very obvious questions about the reading just to show you did the reading ahead of our conversations. And our beloved Brother Man raised his hand right away and said, there should be no reading quizzes, none at all. And I said, okay, I'm ready to hear the argument. Why no reading quizzes at all? And he said, because on some days I did the reading and there wasn't a quiz. and other days I didn't do the reading and there was a quiz, and this was both dispiriting and very unfair. And we all had a laugh over it, but he seemed like this was really the height of unfairness, that he could not anticipate when exactly he would be tested on the material. And so I asked him, would you prefer it if there were one every single class period? That way you know it's coming. And he said, of course not. So it was a nice moment where his humor, while still a little over the top, was well appreciated anyway. So yeah, probably continue the reading quizzes. That's fine. We talked through some other stuff as well, various other topics and various other parts of the course. And a student said something yesterday that I don't think any student will ever say again, which is in the beginning of our let's talk about the policies and activities in the class. I start with a very, very low-hanging topic just to get them warmed up and thinking. I always say, would you prefer more lecture, or is the amount right now good? And I want them to say that they don't want lecture, because what's unique about this class is it's not lecture heavy. It's a little lecture to get things started, then small group discussion, then big group discussion, and then closing lecture to wrap it back up again. And so I want the students to say, oh, no, we like small group discussion, et cetera, et cetera. And most of them did. And then one woman who's very, very smart raised her hand and said, we should either have lecture or you should talk to me one-on-one. And we all laughed. And we said, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? She said, the students in here are so boring. They never have anything of value to say in small groups. I offer my arguments and they just agree with me and we move on. And, wait, what? She was entirely serious and had no interest at all in like saving the feelings of her classmates. She was so entirely convinced that they were a waste of her time. And part of it is that she is incredibly direct. She's a Chinese woman, and Chinese culture is so much more direct than most other cultures at the school. And so if she's in a group with Japanese students, like the way in which Japanese conversation works is you largely affirm the other person and then maybe share what you've said. Where for her, she wants people to argue with her. She wants people to surprise her and challenge her. And yeah, it was incredibly direct in a pretty funny way. So, Delphin, you hate small groups. Would you prefer straight lecture? Like, would you prefer straight lecture of just the professor talking? Yeah, I think the trouble is it's hard to have good small groups unless everyone is both well prepared and also confident enough to engage in conversation. And like, I've been that student also, right? I've been that student also in small groups as an undergrad who wanted to talk big stuff, and it was just not possible. You also want to lecture one-on-one. Yeah. I mean, I want the one-on-one. There's some schools out there that have classes called tutorials, where a lecturer and the students will just meet once a week to talk about ideas. And that's so darn cool. There are others that have meetings of one instructor and 3 or 4 students. Those work similarly enough. But once you're the size of one instructor and 24 to 50 students, it's much harder to have that one-on-one conversation. That's what office hours are for, and so on. But yeah, it definitely is. I understand where she was coming from, but oh my goodness, it was just amazing to see how she did not care about her colleagues. And so as she was finishing up, I jokingly turned to everyone else and said, she thinks y'all are kind of not terribly engaging. You gonna take that? And they said, yeah, pretty true. So I was very glad to see that it was well taken as a comment. Even if it wasn't the nicest thing to say, the students were largely on board with it. And that's how it goes for these gen eds, right? For gen eds, you just get a variety of students from across the school. They're not all super interested. Some of them are just showing up, and that's okay. I'm considering sending her an email, though, about I appreciate her courage, but there may be nicer ways to say these things. We'll see. Hello, Jamor. It's good seeing you. Delphin, you work as an engineer, as a drafter. You're very direct all the way through. No, I get that absolutely. I get there's not a lot of place for niceties in that business. Yeah, I think in the classroom, I always hope that people can grow into their roles, right? That the student who is not well prepared can become well prepared once they see they're not contributing well to a small group, or the student who's shy becomes a little more outgoing as they receive good feedback from their classmates, etc. Because I want to live in a Hallmark TV movie. that is my goal here, is that we just say like, oh look, the class is growing, everything is nice now. Of course, it never quite works that way. Anyway, all classes done. Now we're just on to grading. So students turned in one big assignment yesterday, next one's on Saturday, so I should be done with the grading hopefully by next Monday or so. But next weekend is going to be one of those just buckle down and grade, in which I reward myself for doing an hour of grading with 15 minutes of video games, and then back to the grading again. Don't worry though, there'll be streams all the way through, not going to miss any stream days, I'm pretty sure. Though tomorrow night, excited to report, tomorrow night Noms and I are going to watch a football match. Going to be a good time watching Brighton and Albion playing against one of the local Tokyo teams. So it should be a lovely time going to the National Stadium again. This giant, beautiful wooden structure. I've shown pictures before of the Tokyo National Stadium. And it's so hot outside, though. It's going to be so unpleasant. So I'll be sure to put on my sunscreen. Because at the beginning of the summer this year, I went to a rugby match, you might recall. And at the rugby match, I managed to put sunscreen on some parts of myself. But I didn't think about my legs at all. And so I was wearing shorts. And the part between my lower thigh and my kneecap was burned so terribly. To the point that even today, which is now, 3 months later, I can still see a line where my shorts were. I can't have this happen anymore. Can't have it happen, so I'll make sure to do a good job, wear lots of sunscreen and all the rest. Speaking of clothes, though, okay, yesterday, one last student story. This is funny, I guess, but it felt pretty bad in the moment. So I bought myself a new pair of pants recently, because I've always wanted a pair of green pants so badly. And so I bought a pair of green pants. They're not super bright green. They're not olive, but somewhere around the color olive, maybe a little lighter than olive. And I like these new pants so much indeed. And so I wore them for the first time yesterday, my little pants, got my white shirt on, doing the teaching thing. As class ends and various students are coming up to say goodbye, one student comes up and says, "I don't want to be rude." I said, "It's fine, say what you want to say." And he said, "Why are you dressed like Peter Griffin?" If you don't know who this is, Yep. Now, I've been compared to other characters, compared to other actors at times. This one might feel the worst ever. But yeah, I definitely had like the white shirt on with the sleeves rolled up, unbuttoned at the top. My pants are not that green, but they are definitely in the neighborhood. My shoes are brown. Have I been gaining weight? I think I've been losing, but that's unfortunate. So now I can never again wear those pants. I can never wear those pants, or I can only wear them with a non-white shirt, I've decided. So that is that. I then told the student that he had a pair of jeans on and a bluish shirt. And I said, "Look at you with your Smurf clothing." And he laughed. And I said, wait, do you know who Smurfs are? And he's like, "Oh, yeah, absolutely." And I said, "This is very uncommon. The Smurfs from the 1980s. How do you know about these?" And so we then had a poll of the students in the classroom of who knew who the Smurfs were. And only one other student knew of the Smurfs other than this guy. So Smurfs are an old school thing, not well known. Many of the students, though, knew the term smurfing, in which one who's a high-level player in a video game plays against lower-level characters. I don't know why it's called smurfing, but apparently it is. So, do it on purpose for Halloween. Halloween isn't exactly celebrated here, but sure enough, I could be Peter Griffin as a joke to myself on Halloween at least. That said, I guess one thing that hasn't happened here that happened at my prior schools is no one's dressed up as me for Halloween. And I appreciate that because, man, there's nothing quite like coming in on Halloween and seeing the classroom full of, imps and explorers and doctors and, oh, look, it's me. Great. There I am. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Smurfing came from World of Warcraft, or maybe it's because a lower level character was called Smurf in a game. I have no idea the origin. Let's find out together. So Smurfing, origin, I guess. Due to two very good players in the game called Warcraft 2. Interesting. Players avoid playing them if they saw their usernames, so they created new accounts called Papa Smurf and Smurfette. So Smurfing is very good players in a game. That's interesting. This sounds though, they created new accounts. So yeah, they were playing as lower level characters then. Interesting. Interesting. We've learned things. Wait. The term smurfing comes from banking and finance. Someone on Reddit is making things up. One second. Okay, this person deleted their account in pure shame, but what do they claim? This is an incorrect origin of the word. The term smurfing comes from banking and financing. Smurfing was a nickname given to a specific stage in a money laundering process known as structuring. Structuring when you make a deposit of $9,999 in order to avoid federal filing requirements. Dennis Hastert, the recent 1990s Speaker of the House of the United States from Illinois, went to prison off of structuring. He was trying to bribe someone for hiding some of his terrible deeds. All right. Large amount of money is deposited so it's sort of smaller. Yeah, it's true. Leading user reference banking and finance is correct. Okay, this is from the Investopedia. What is a smurf and how does smurfing work? Colloquial term for a money launderer who seeks to evade scrutiny from government agency by breaking up, etc. So maybe this is one of those cases where there are multiple similar usages. So the breaking up of a larger thing into a smaller thing. Interesting. Well, we've learned things, friends. We've learned things today. Probably the origin of it in gaming culture is indeed the Warcraft 2 element, but we can impress our friends in banking and finance by talking about the same thing. Why do they call it smurfing? I think in the case of finance, because you're taking a lot of little things, like the tiny cute little smurfs, who I think are very short, I believe. And then instead of having the one big thing, a lot of little things together. And then as far as smurfing in the gaming context, it's probably because of just the names being used in Warcraft. I'm not sure. Canonically, Smurfs are 3 apples high. Are they really? but how high is an apple? An apple is 1/3 of a Smurf high. Got it. Mike, you wonder if there's ever a class where everyone showed up dressed as various historical philosophers? I'm sure that for some Halloween, various people dress up as, a rock and roll band or Bonnie and Clyde or whatever else. Surely someone has said, let's dress up as philosophers together. There is a delightful pedagogy called Reacting to the Past, in which students take on various roles in important historical moments and then play those roles in the classroom. And to prepare for their roles, they read primary sources and other kinds of useful material to learn their own role and the issue that will be debated as part of the class. So the first of these ones is called Death of Socrates. It's about the trial in Athens of Socrates. There are others involving Seneca Falls movements, storming the Bastille, like lots and lots of different stuff. And so I think that there's often an encouragement of students in these cases to choose some piece of clothing they will use as a marker of their character. And so I've seen Reacting the Past Athens where people run around in togas, which I think is just delightful. Absolutely. And obviously not togas, obviously bed sheets, but it's a good bit of fun to go and get the students to care about the material, maybe. Anyway, friends, an ad break is coming right now. After the ad break is done, we will go ahead and play some video games. That'll be pretty fantastic. Hello, Fears. The Smurfs are basically national heritage from Belgium. Oh, are they Belgian? I had no idea of their origin. Really? Belgian? Huh. That's something good to know. Because I don't know many of the like national heritages or national products of many nations on Earth. Belgium equals Smurfs.